Self-appreciation is the cornerstone of any meaningful success. Too often, people wait for recognition from others, believing that their value is measured by external applause or validation. But the truth is, the world will rarely hand out appreciation freely. And even when it does, it cannot replace the strength that comes from valuing yourself. Appreciating yourself begins with acknowledging your efforts, your persistence, and your growth, even if the results are not yet visible. Every small step you take toward your goals, every time you overcome a personal limitation, is worthy of recognition. When you honor these moments, you are not indulging in vanity or arrogance. You are building a mindset that understands that your journey matters. This mindset changes everything because it shifts the source of your motivation from external circumstances to internal conviction. When you appreciate yourself, you create a standard of excellence that is independent of the opinions of others. You no longer need constant praise or approval to feel worthy. And this independence is what allows you to take risks, pursue challenges, and push beyond your comfort zone. Self-appreciation also strengthens resilience. Life will inevitably present obstacles, setbacks, and criticisms, and if your self-worth is tied solely to external recognition, every challenge will feel like a personal failure. But when you cultivate self-appreciation, you have a stable foundation that keeps you grounded. You can face criticism objectively, learn from mistakes, and continue forward without losing confidence. It is this confidence, rooted in self-recognition, that attracts opportunities and opens doors that might otherwise remain closed. Appreciating yourself also fosters a healthy relationship with discipline. Discipline can feel restrictive if it comes from obligation or pressure, but when it arises from self-respect, it becomes empowering. You commit to habits, routines, and goals not because someone else expects it, but because you value your own potential and understand that your efforts deserve to be nurtured. Furthermore, self-appreciation helps you navigate comparison, which is one of the greatest enemies of progress. When you honor your own path, you stop measuring your success against others' achievements. You understand that every individual has a unique journey, and the progress you make, no matter how incremental, is meaningful. This perspective frees you from jealousy, self-doubt, and distraction, allowing you to focus entirely on your own growth. Ultimately, appreciating yourself is about seeing your life as a work in progress that is already worthy of attention and care. It is about recognizing that your potential is not something to wait for, it is something to nurture every day. By building this inner foundation, you empower yourself to act with confidence, to take responsibility for your choices, and to pursue success not as a fleeting goal, but as a natural outcome of valuing the person you are becoming. When you appreciate yourself, you unlock a power that cannot be given to you by anyone else. And it is this power that forms the basis of all lasting achievement. Failure is an inevitable part of life, yet most people treat it as a personal attack rather than a stepping stone for growth. The moment you begin to appreciate yourself, you start to see failure through a different lens, not as proof of inadequacy, but as a necessary signal that guides you toward improvement. Every setback carries valuable lessons. If only you are willing to pause and observe rather than react with frustration or self-criticism. When you fail, it does not define who you are. It simply informs you where adjustment is needed. Appreciating yourself in these moments means responding with patience and understanding rather than harsh judgment. It means recognizing the courage it took to attempt something difficult, even if the outcome wasn't perfect. People who achieve lasting success do not avoid failure, they embrace it, analyze it, and allow it to refine their skills and character. Each mistake becomes an opportunity to practice resilience, to develop problem-solving abilities, and to strengthen the mindset required for consistent achievement. Self-appreciation also prevents the destructive cycle of internal negativity that often follows failure. Without it, A single setback can spiral into doubt, discouragement, and hesitation to act again. But when you value yourself, you treat failure as a teacher, not a threat. You can objectively assess what went wrong, identify the lessons, and plan your next move with renewed clarity. This mindset fosters confidence because it shifts the focus from fear of mistakes to anticipation of growth. Appreciating yourself also means celebrating the effort involved, not just the result. Many people are quick to discount progress if it doesn't lead to immediate success. Yet real achievement is built in the quiet, unseen steps taken after failure. Every attempt, every adjustment, every moment of perseverance deserves recognition. By acknowledging your own commitment and resilience, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of overcoming obstacles, no matter how challenging they may seem. Moreover, this perspective helps you develop patience and long-term vision. Success rarely happens overnight, and the ability to navigate repeated failure without losing faith in yourself is what separates those who reach their goals from those who give up too soon. Appreciating yourself also enhances your capacity to take risks. When you respect your own potential and understand that mistakes do not diminish your worth, you are willing to step into situations that push your limits, explore new opportunities, and embrace challenges that others might shy away from. In essence, failure becomes an ally, not an enemy. It becomes a mirror that reflects where growth is possible and a guide that shows the way forward. When you approach every setback with self-respect and constructive reflection, you build resilience, sharpen your skills, and strengthen your confidence. This is the foundation for real, lasting success, because those who appreciate themselves do not allow temporary defeats to dictate their future. They use them to propel themselves higher. Discipline is the bridge between aspiration and achievement, and it is one of the clearest expressions of self-appreciation. When you truly value yourself, you recognize that your potential deserves consistent effort and careful cultivation. Discipline is not a punishment or a chore. It is a demonstration that you respect your own goals and take your growth seriously. Every small choice you make, from waking up early to investing time in learning, is an act of honoring your future self. Appreciating yourself means understanding that these seemingly ordinary actions accumulate over time, creating momentum that leads to extraordinary results. Without self-respect, discipline often feels restrictive, heavy, or joyless because it is pursued out of obligation rather than intention. But when discipline arises from appreciation, it becomes empowering. It fuels confidence, strengthens character, and creates a sense of control over your life. Keeping promises to yourself, maintaining routines, and taking responsibility for your commitments are all ways of reinforcing your worth. Each time you follow through, no matter how small the action, you build credibility with the one person whose support matters most to you. This credibility fosters internal trust, and trust in yourself is a cornerstone of lasting success. When you value your efforts and stay consistent, even in the face of distractions or temptations to quit, you cultivate resilience and patience. Over time, these habits compound, transforming ordinary days into progress and ordinary actions into meaningful achievement. Discipline, intertwined with self-appreciation, also guard against the pitfalls of inconsistency and procrastination. It keeps you aligned with your priorities, ensuring that your energy and focus are directed toward growth rather than wasted on unproductive habits or negative self-talk. Ultimately, discipline is not about rigid schedules or external expectations. It is about honoring the life you are capable of creating. By practicing self-discipline through appreciation, you reinforce your own value, strengthen your character, and lay the foundation for real, lasting success that is earned, deserved, and deeply fulfilling. Comparison is one of the most subtle yet destructive forces that can derail personal growth and success. It creeps into your thoughts quietly, making you question your progress, your worth, and even your potential. When you begin to appreciate yourself, you start to see comparison for what it truly is, a distraction that steals focus and energy from your own journey. Every person's path is unique, shaped by different experiences, opportunities, and timing. Measuring yourself against someone else's accomplishments is not only unfair, it's counterproductive. Appreciating yourself allows you to step away from that endless cycle of comparison and instead cultivate a perspective rooted in progress and purpose. It means acknowledging that your achievements, no matter how small they may seem, are meaningful steps forward. Every improvement, every skill mastered, every challenge overcome is a victory worth recognizing on its own merit. This mindset fosters patience because it teaches you that success is not a race against others, but a personal journey of growth. When you honor your own progress, you free yourself from the burden of envy, self-doubt, and frustration that comparison brings. It also empowers you to focus your energy on actionable steps rather than distractions. Instead of wasting time worrying about where others are, you direct your efforts toward the areas you can influence your habits, your mindset, and your choices. Appreciating yourself in this way strengthens confidence and resilience because your sense of value no longer depends on external validation or relative standing. You begin to understand that life is not about competing with someone else's timeline, but about becoming the best version of yourself. This perspective also encourages gratitude, which is a powerful motivator. Recognizing your progress, celebrating small milestones, and being thankful for the opportunities you have creates a positive cycle of self-reinforcement. You build momentum not through comparison, but through consistent effort and self-respect. Ultimately, avoiding comparison and appreciating your unique path allows you to maintain clarity of purpose. You are able to set goals that align with your own values, measure success in your own terms, and pursue growth with focus and determination. By nurturing your individuality and honoring your journey, you lay the foundation for authentic, lasting success, one that is grounded in self-appreciation rather than the shifting shadows of others' achievements. Real success is not simply the accumulation of wealth, recognition, or status. It is the natural result of consistent self-respect, purposeful action, and the ability to appreciate yourself along the journey. When you truly value who you are and the effort you put in, you no longer chase success out of desperation or fear. You pursue it as an expression of your own potential. Appreciating yourself gives you the clarity to define what success really means for you, instead of adopting someone else's definition. This clarity transforms the way you make decisions, set goals, and allocate your time. Every choice becomes intentional, every action aligned with your values, and every challenge approached with confidence. People who lack self-appreciation often measure their achievements by comparison, external approval, or fleeting rewards, but these measures are unstable and leak. You perpetually dissatisfied. True success, on the other hand, flows naturally from a foundation of self-recognition. When you honor your own growth, you develop a standard for yourself that becomes non-negotiable. You stop settling for less than you are capable of and begin to invest in the disciplines, habits, and skills that elevate your life. This process is gradual but transformative. Each step of preparation, each small victory, and each lesson learned builds momentum that compounds over time, shaping not only what you achieve, but who you become. Appreciating yourself also strengthens your resilience. Life will inevitably test you with setbacks, doubts, and criticism, but when your sense of worth is rooted internally, these obstacles lose their power to discourage you. You see challenges as opportunities to refine your abilities rather than threats to your identity. In this way, self-appreciation fuels perseverance, and perseverance produces results. Moreover, appreciating yourself encourages balance and intentionality. You begin to prioritize your mental, emotional, and physical well-being alongside your ambitions, understanding that sustainable success cannot thrive on neglect or self-sacrifice alone. This mindset creates harmony between effort and rest, ambition and contentment, growth and gratitude. Ultimately, appreciating yourself transforms the pursuit of success from a frantic chase into a purposeful journey. You no longer need constant motivation or external validation because your inner standards guide your actions. Your discipline, resilience, and clarity of purpose work together to create success that is not only achieved but deeply satisfying and lasting. By valuing yourself first, you set in motion a cycle where your efforts are purposeful, your actions consistent, and your outcomes meaningful, showing that the truest form of success begins within. When you step back and look at the journey of self-appreciation, a clear pattern emerges. Real success begins from within. It starts with valuing yourself, recognizing your efforts, and treating your growth as a priority. Appreciating yourself transforms the way you respond to failure, turning setbacks into lessons and obstacles into opportunities for improvement. Gives discipline a purpose, making consistent action feel empowering rather than burdensome, and it frees you from the destructive habit of comparison, allowing you to focus fully on your own path. By nurturing your potential and honoring your progress, you cultivate resilience, confidence, and clarity of purpose, qualities that no external reward or recognition can provide. Ultimately, success is not about imitating others or chasing fleeting validation. It is about building a life that reflects your own standards, your own growth, and your own unique journey. When you appreciate yourself, every choice, every effort, and every step forward becomes meaningful, creating a foundation for lasting achievement that is both deeply fulfilling and authentically your own. Self-appreciation is not just a mindset, it is the fuel for a life of purpose, power, and real success.